This is an interior monologue from the Marston cohort. Our members are Christian Carrasco, Jessica Altes, Tiffany Bridgewater, and Francie Warner.
Cesar Chavez was born on a farm near Yuma, Arizona in 1927. During the Great Depression, his parents lost the farm and started working as migrant farm laborers. Chavez worked in vineyards and apricot orchards until he met an organizer for the Community Service Organization. This meeting is what led him to dedicating his life to improving treatment, pay, and working conditions for farm workers. As a labor leader, Chavez employed nonviolent means to bring attention to the working conditions of farm workers. He brought attention to this important cause by going on hunger strikes. He used the hunger strikes as a means to bring his organization together and to gather support from important figures like Reverend Jesse Jackson and Senator Robert Kennedy. He led marches, boycotts, and organized a credit union for farm workers. He also made people aware of the dangers to the workers' health from the pesticides that were being used on the crops. In 1962, Chavez founded the National Farm Workers Association, and in September of 1965, he led the now historic boycott and strike against the growers of table grapes. In 1966, the National Farm Workers Association and Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee merged to form the United Farm Workers of America. When thinking about our interior monologue, Cesar Chavez seemed like a good choice because of the diversity of our students. Many of our students have been or are currently migrant workers. Looking deeper into the impact that Chavez had on migrant workers, in turn gave us a snapshot into the lives of many of our students. However, it was not only our students that his workers impacted, but it was the lives of some of our cohort members who have worked on farms picking vegetables and fruits at a younger age. We felt like we had a connection with Cesar Chavez, not just because of our students who are migrant workers, but because we use the Cesar Chavez guided reader with our students. The work that Chavez did years ago is relevant to current times because we work every day with students who have parents who are migrant workers. Some of our students are migrant workers as well. There are times throughout the year when students come and go because of the seasonal work that they are doing. Knowing this, our district has a migrant grant that allows students to receive extra help after school. What is going on here? All of these people, I can't even get to work. I hope it's not another one of those silly boycotts.
Are you serious? Do you know who that man is?
What man? The one blocking the walk and making me late for work?
That man is Cesar Chavez.
And is that name supposed to mean something to me? Who is this Chavez guy, and why is he drawing such a crowd?
Yeah, you probably haven't heard of him. He is starting to draw attention to the situation in California. The migrant workers aren't getting treated fairly. Their working conditions are pitiful. He has been organizing them to strike in order to improve their conditions.
Strike? How is a strike going to get recognition and help these workers you speak of?
By striking, the growers are forced to make changes to improve the working conditions for their workers. Unfortunately, the strikes have been getting quite violent. The police have banned the word huelga, and if anyone says it, they get arrested. People have even been beaten for saying it.
Are these strikes really working? How effective have they been?
Well, at first, a bit slow because it was difficult to convince poor labor workers to stop working for a cause and receive no pay.
So this has been going on for a while? How long has Cesar been working on this situation?
About 4 years. He first began by asking the laborers to stop working, but then he reorganized the group and they decided that it would be best to boycott grapes instead.
Grapes? Why grapes?
Actually, he was reluctant to strike on grapes, but the Filipino group working in Delano went on strike and were not having any luck convincing the growers to change their working conditions.
So let me guess, they asked Cesar for help?
That is correct. Cesar knew that the growers liked to play the races against each other. The Latino and the Filipino needed each other, and so they decided to join forces.
Sounds like Cesar is getting some attention in California. So what is he doing in Seattle?
He is getting a First Citizen Recognition Award from Mayor Ullman of Seattle during his visit to promote the United Farm Workers Grape Boycott.
Oh, I see. Well, I am running really late now. I have to see if I can get through this crowd and get to work. Thank you for your insight. Have a great day.
My feet are tired, but nothing compared to what the farm workers have experienced. I believe in the causa or the cause. There are days when I feel discouraged because I am called a communist and other vulgar names. I've been beaten with a stick and told to leave a public road that I was standing in. Last week we were organizing the workers to strike, and we were beaten by the growers and pepper sprayed by the police officers. One of our members was beaten to death. The growers have a lot of powerful friends and seem to have bought the police. They tend to look the other way. Cesar and other leaders decided that picketing on the growers' turf was getting too violent, and it would be best to boycott and try to impact the pockets of the growers and the vendors. I wonder where we are going after Cesar gets his award from Mayor Wes Allman.
Oh, wow, no lo puedo creer. Gracias, Dios mío, por ayudarme a juntar a tanta gente en este lugar y a los medios de comunicación para cubrir este evento de gran trascendencia por nuestra lucha.
Oh, wow. Thank God for helping me to congregate this amount of people in this place and the media for bringing attention to this cause.
Mirando tanta gente de diferentes culturas y a los medios de comunicación, debo de asegurarme de que entiendan las necesidades de nuestras comunidades y de los estragos que ellos pasan en los campos de cultivo. Deben de entender que esta lucha no es sobre uvas y lechugas, es sobre las personas, que una vez que comienza el cambio social, no puede ser revertido. No se puede deseducar a la persona que ha aprendido a leer. No se puede humillar a la persona que siente orgullo. No se puede oprimir a las personas que no tienen miedo de nada más. No podemos buscar un logro para nosotros mismos y olvidarnos del progreso y la prosperidad de nuestra comunidad. Nuestras ambiciones deben de ser amplias, con suficientes mesas para incluir las aspiraciones y necesidades de los demás, para el bien de todos y nuestros propios.
Looking at so many people from different cultures and media, I need to make sure that they understand the needs of our communities and the misery they experience in the fields. That the fight is never about grapes and lettuce, it is about people. That once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person that has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity of our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others for their sakes and for our own.
Hey, Cesar! Sonríe para la cámara.
Cesar, smile for the camera.